following photographs were taken at the site. We're used to thinking of the Ice Age as just a harsh winter. Mammoths and hunters wrapped in furs. Well, yes, that's true, but only on the surface. Imagine a world where night lasts for months, and from the darkness stare at the eyes of those who were born to kill humans. The real optimist of the Ice Age is the one who, at minus 40 degrees Celsius, says, well, at least there are no mosquitoes. The Bering Land Bridge was the first place on Earth where people stood in a traffic jam of mammoths just to get into America. Darling, why is it so cold in our cave? You asked for Scandinavian interior design. Now the whole world is Scandinavia. Stock up on your sense of cuteness. And now let's go. The Mammoth Steppe was a vast ecosystem that dominated much of the northern hemisphere during the Pleistocene epoch. This landscape was unlike modern steppes and was characterized by a unique mix of grasses, shrubs, and mosses capable of withstanding extreme cold and aridity. Biodiversity was astonishing. Enormous herds of large herbivores such as mammoths, woolly rhinoceroses, bison, and horses. This ecosystem disappeared about 12,000 years ago with the end of the last ice age. The saber-toothed cat Smilodon, often called a saber-toothed tiger, was one of the most fearsome predators of the Ice Age, though it was not a true tiger. It belonged to an extinct subfamily of cats. Its most distinctive feature was its enormous upper canines, up to 18 centimeters long, used to inflict deep wounds in the soft tissues of large prey after knocking them to the ground. Smilodon remains are often found in the La Brea tar pits in California, indicating that they hunted bison, camels, and young mammoths. Megastotherium, the bone crusher, sounds friendly enough. One of the largest predatory mammals in history. Its head was the size of a human torso. Its jaws exerted such force that it could simply bite through the shells of giant turtles or the pelvic bones of young elephants. It did not hunt from ambush. It advanced straight ahead, knowing that nothing could stop its bite. Civatherium, the horned demon of the steppe. Imagine a giraffe weighing 15 tons, with the body of a powerful bull and enormous shovel-shaped horns. Its appearance was so strange and terrifying that ancient humans may have regarded it as a demonic creature guarding the borders of the icy wastelands. The Bering Land Bridge was a vast stretch of dry land that existed at various times during the Pleistocene, connecting Asia and North America. It appeared due to falling sea levels, as immense amounts of water were locked in massive ice sheets. This bridge was a key migration route for many animal species, including mammoths, woolly rhinoceroses, and the ancestors of humans who settled the Americas. Today, Beringia lies submerged beneath the Bering Strait. Mammoth hunting with spears was a critically important survival strategy for ancient humans and Neanderthals. It required courage, complex cooperation, and strategic planning. Hunters used primitive spears with stone tips, and later more advanced throwing weapons. The Lion Man figurine is not just an ancient sculpture. It is one of the most disturbing pieces of evidence that the human mind had already gone completely off the rails at the height of the Ice Age. It is the oldest known depiction of a creature that does not exist in nature. Well, of course there is no such thing as a man with the head of a lion. Sure, don't I see that every day? Absolutely every day. The 31 cm tall figurine combines a human body with the head of a cave lion, proving that 40,000 years ago humans possessed imagination and belief in supernatural beings. Studies from 2026 show that creating this figurine required over 400 hours of continuous work with stone tools under Ice Age survival conditions, where every minute was normally spent searching for food. Dedicating so much time to a useless statue speaks to its immense significance for the tribe. It was found deep inside a cave, in a separate chamber surrounded by animal bones, likely a ritual site where shamans sought to merge with the spirit of the most dangerous predator of the time to gain its power from mammoth hunting. The cave hyena, laughter from the darkness. It was much larger than modern African hyenas and had the most powerful jaws of any predator of its era. It gnawed not only meat, but also mammoth bones. Archaeologists find entire caves filled with crushed bones, including human ones. The most terrifying thing was their habit of laughing in the echoing chambers of caves while tracking prey. Platybelodon, the executioner elephant, an ancient relative of elephants whose tusks were replaced by enormous shovel-like lower teeth. Its face looked like a nightmare mask, though it was a herbivore. Its appearance and its habit of uprooting entire trees and smashing everything in its path made it a living disaster for human settlements. Cave paintings of Chauvet Cave in southern France represent one of the most significant archaeological discoveries, containing some of the oldest and best preserved cave art in the world. The paintings are estimated to be around 30,000 to 36,000 years old. They display remarkable realism and detail, depicting cave lions, woolly rhinoceroses, mammoths, and bears, animals rarely shown in later European cave art. Scholars still debate their meaning: ritual magic, hunting practices, or pure artistic expression. Thylacosmolus, a saber-toothed predator from South America. It looked like a saber-toothed cat, but was actually a marsupial. Its canines grew throughout its life and extended deep into the skull behind the eyes. Most horrifyingly, its lower jaw had special skin sheaths into which the teeth were tucked when the mouth was closed. Blemmies, headless people. Ancient chronicles describe creatures living at the edge of the known world. In Ice Age lore, these were humanoid monsters whose faces were located on their chests, a dead end of evolution. Cool. The giant ground sloth Megatherium was one of the largest land mammals of its time, the size of an elephant. Unlike modern tree-dwelling sloths, it lived on the ground, had massive claws, and could stand on its hind legs using its tail as a third support to reach high branches. Despite its terrifying size, most scientists believe it was herbivorous. Neanderthals versus Cro-Magnons was a centuries-long confrontation between two human species sharing the same territory. Neanderthals were stronger and better adapted to cold, while Cro-Magnons, our ancestors, prevailed through numbers and complex social structures. Ultimately, Cro-Magnons displaced Neanderthals, though 1 to 4% of Neanderthal DNA remains in modern humans. Andrewsarchus, a hyena the size of a van. Though it lived earlier than the Ice Age peak, it belongs among its monsters. It was the largest terrestrial carnivorous mammal ever, with massive jaws capable of snapping bison spines like matchsticks. Its appearance, a cross between a bear and a giant boar, inspired primal terror. The last glacial maximum was the final great cooling of the Pleistocene, peaking about 20,000 years ago. Kilometer-thick ice sheets covered much of Europe, North America, and Asia, turning them into frozen wastelands. Sea levels dropped so low that land bridges emerged, allowing migration between continents before the ice finally melted. Kalinkin, a terror bird, a 3-meter-tall flightless bird with a massive hooked beak that worked like a pickaxe. It didn't peck. It literally drove its victim's head into the ground with a single downward strike. Meeting such a dinosaur meant total annihilation. The woolly rhinoceros was a giant covered in thick brown fur, the second largest inhabitant of the mammoth steppe after the mammoth itself. Its massive horn, up to a meter long, was used both for defense and for clearing snow in search of vegetation. Despite its power, woolly rhinos were solitary, making them vulnerable to skilled hunters. Megalania, a 7-meter-long giant monitor lizard that lived in Australia and encountered the first humans. A venomous predator, it would bite and then follow its victim for days until the poison caused death, always knowing the dragon was close. Arctotherium, a giant short-faced bear from South America, lived from 2.5 million to 10,000 years ago. One species, Arctotherium angustidens, is officially recognized as the largest bear ever to walk the earth. Standing on its hind legs, it reached 3.4 meters tall and weighed up to 2 tons. By comparison, modern polar bears rarely exceed 800 kilograms. These were apex predators feeding on large herbivores. Later species became smaller and more omnivorous. Its closest modern relative, though far smaller, is the spectacled bear. Elasmotherium, the Siberian unicorn, was a gigantic extinct rhinoceros that lived in the Eurasian steppes. It had a single enormous horn on its forehead and could reach 5 to 6 meters in length, weighing up to 5 tons. Covered in thick fur, it could run fast and grind the toughest vegetation with its ever-growing teeth. A bone flute made from a vulture wing was found in the German cave of Hohl Fels. It is about 40,000 years old. The sounds produced in cave acoustics resembled the cries of spirits or wind in mountain gorges, likely used for trance, rituals, or terrifying prey. The Shigar idol is the world's oldest known wooden sculpture, about 12,000 years old, twice as old as the pyramids. Over 5 meters tall, carved from larch, it bears 8 carved faces and geometric patterns, possibly an early form of symbolic writing. It survived only because it was preserved in a peat bog. Megaloceros, the giant deer, had antlers spanning up to 4 meters and weighing 40 kilograms. Climate change made forests denser, and with such antlers, the species could no longer move easily, becoming easy prey. Amphibian, the bear dog, combined the power of a bear with the agility of a wolf. Some species weighed over 600 kilograms. If it caught prey, there was no escape. Tarpans, wild ancestors of horses, were hardy steppe animals used by humans mainly as food, not transport. Sun discs from Sungur, carved from mammoth ivory, were found in the ritual burial of 2 children 30,000 to 35,000 years ago, indicating complex spiritual beliefs. The spear thrower, Atlotl, was the hyperweapon of the Paleolithic, doubling throwing power and turning humans into apex predators. Venus figurines were ritual female statues with exaggerated forms, possibly symbols of fertility or just proof that people were already strange. Dinofelis, the man-eater, was a stealthy saber-toothed cat that hunted early humans, creeping into caves at night. Our fear of monsters in the dark may come from it. Entelodonts, hell pigs, were bull-sized omnivores with bone-crushing jaws and extreme aggression. Paleoloxodon, the largest elephant ever, stood 5 meters tall and could destroy entire settlements in a single rampage. Homo floresiensis, the hobbit, lived on the island of Flores. Under 1 meter tall, with a tiny brain, they hunted dwarf elephants, proof that human evolution was far stranger than we imagine. Giant beavers were the size of black bears, with 15 centimeters incisors, living in wetlands until they vanished with the mammoths. The curse of frozen mummies. Melting permafrost releases ancient pathogens. Anthrax outbreaks have already occurred, and legends say disturbing frozen graves angers the spirits. Myelania, the devil turtle, had horns and a spiked tail like a medieval mace. Territorial and aggressive, it broke legs with its tail before delivering the final blow. Doggerland, a lost continent beneath the North Sea, once connected Britain to Europe. It was swallowed by rising seas around 8,000 years ago, a real Ice Age Atlantis. Stegomastodon, a bizarre elephant with hook-like tusks, impaled predators with them. Cave lions, the largest cats ever, were Ice Age superpredators, larger and stronger than modern lions, capable of attacking young mammoths alone.